All right, this is Michael. Michael, how old are you?
I'm 27 years old.
27. All right. I got some questions for you. You
All
ready?
right, absolutely.
All right. Tell me about how you got into leadership.
Well, I serve as the student ministries pastor here at the church, and so getting into that leadership position, of course, going through Bible college and then applying for jobs and accepting a position, that is how I got into that position of leadership. But all throughout, even starting in middle school and high school, um, I was started. I was given the opportunities to be in leadership positions, whether in band or school projects or even in my youth ministry growing up. And so through those things, I kind of developed in leadership and realized the gifts that God had given me for leading people, I guess you could say.
All right. How would you define leadership?
I would say it's less being a manager and more being in the trenches with people and leading them towards a destination or towards an objective that's good for everyone involved. And it may be rough and it may be hard at times, but it's leading through all those circumstances and being a leader means that sometimes people won't agree with you, um, that they may take sides against you, but really going after that objective that you're going for the mutual good for everyone.
All right. How do you continue to grow as a leader?
I try to read as many books as possible. I've really been slacking on that lately, but try to read. I try to challenge myself with different things, whether it's pursuing a graduate degree or just anything like that. Trying to go to conferences, trying to study, just getting that outside input. I don't want to be stagnant as a leader ever, and so I really want to try to find those opportunities to grow.
All right. And tell me about a time you were successful as a leader.
I would say some of the more successful moments, especially in youth ministry that I've had, is working with our student leaders and our adult volunteers in our youth ministry and really giving them ownership of the ministry. That's something that's been hard for me to give up part of it because I feel like I know how to do things the right way. I feel like I can run the computer the best, or I can run sound the best, or I can play an instrument the best, or I can preach the best, I can teach the best. But obviously, if you're playing an instrument on stage or you're preaching, you can't be running sound at the same time. And so really letting go of those things and training and equipping and then releasing students and adult leaders to take those positions, I would say that has been some of the biggest success moments that we've had. Because now if you walk into our ministry on a Wednesday night, you'll see students running the computer, running sound, leading worship, checking other students in. You'll see the adult leaders having conversations with students before and after services. All stuff that I feel like I can do very well, but we've been able to release them to do it, and our ministry has been more successful because of that.
All right. Tell me about a time that you failed as a leader.
Hmm. Kind of in that same realm, you could say, is it's hard for me sometimes to communicate often enough with leaders. Um, Sometimes it's just easier for me to run with something and know that I can do it well and maybe bring one or two other people with me that I know can do it well. But then that has left other leaders in the dust and maybe feeling like they don't know what's going on, maybe feeling like they're not appreciated, that they have no part in our ministry. And so I would say those have been moments where I've failed and I've had to look at what I've done and how I can fix that. Um, Also, in my first ministry position I've ever had, right when I got out of college, went to this large church in Nashville, Tennessee, and was a middle school pastor of a large youth ministry, and was let go after 10 months. Now, they were clear. They said, Michael, this was nothing you did. We all love you. You've done a great job. We know it's time for you to move on. But you can't help but leave that feeling like you failed and feeling like you just made the biggest mistake ever. So it's one of those where you really look back at that time and see, all right, what could I have done better? And just saying, you know what, I may have failed. I felt like I failed, but you got to go forward. You got to learn from it and after leaving that position and coming to this church in Wichita, Kansas, it's cool seeing God use me and how He's taught me those things back in Nashville. I'm using those things now.
All right, and last question. What do you do to prepare yourself to lead daily?
I would say a big one is to be a good leader, you have to also be led by someone. And so daily, I try to submit to my leadership, whether it's our lead pastor or whether it's people I've allowed to lead into my life. But mostly, and obviously, and here's the Sunday school answer, I try to submit to Jesus daily and try to read His Word every single day and try to pray and spend time with Him. And of course, I can do much better at that, I know. But that's something I really strive to do is before I lead others, I want to make sure I'm leading them into the right place. So I need to be led by Jesus in order to lead people to His presence.
All right, well, thank you for your time.
Hey, you're welcome.